Alright, guys, so welcome to my channel. This is RPG Robert coming at you live finally. Uh, it's taken me about a week now to kind of get everything set up, and I just wanted to kind of like put out the first video, as soon as possible. I'm still kind of getting used to my setup right now. Kind of currently looking for a dual screen monitor, all kinds of things for you guys, of course, not just for me. Gonna be making this content for you guys. So kind of like a brief intro. This is the game that's been kind of like taken over my life for the past 4 years. It's called Summoner's War. I'm pretty invested in this game. Like I said, I've been playing for about 4 years. I'm not. I wouldn't say I'm pro, but I also wouldn't say I'm a scrub. you know, uh, I I do pretty decently. I'm pretty heavily invested in this game. I've spent I don't want to say a lot of money, but a fair amount, that anyone can spend on games, for 4 years. Uh, I won't say exactly how much, but maybe another time we'll talk about that. But yeah, like I said, this game about 4 years ago when I got an upgrade to my iPhone 6, I believe, I was just like finally able to play mobile games. And this game was at the top of the list on the iOS for downloading games and stuff. So I just said, hey, like these characters look cool. Like, I want to be a part of this. So I slowly like started accumulating monsters. I looked at, everything like, look at this guy. Like, how could you not want to play a game with a character like this? uh, but this character right here is what actually got me into the game. I did a little bit of like exploring at what this game had available for its players, and I I saw this angel, and I was just like, oh man, that's what I want to be, Like, look at this guy. And a crazy thing is that I actually got him from the summoning ritual where you get like every day you get a chance to make a wish, and I got him from the wishes. It's pretty insane. It's like 0.001% chance to have got it, and I got him on that wish. Like my wife was there when I pulled him, and I was just like ecstatic, and I've I don't wouldn't say he's my best monster, but I definitely have tried to like invest the best armor that I can for him, which are called runes in this game, by the way. But yeah, he's pretty much like the mascot of the game for me, personally, and he's kind of like kept me going, kept me loving this game. And like another thing that's kind of crazy about it, I just kind of want to tell you guys, is that they released this skin for some of the characters, and it, like look at how cool that is. I'm pretty jazzed about it. uh, I just came back from a trip to LA with some friends and my wife. So I should wait for the next paycheck before I purchase this skin, but I'm definitely going to be purchasing this skin. Like, oh my God, it's so cool, especially with these these wings that I have for some of these characters. I've been playing so long, and you accumulate these ranks, and you eventually get these I like to call them wings, but they're called gladiator of ambition. But we in the Summoners War community call them wings. And I have the wings, and as soon as I get the transmog, oh man, look, it's just, oh man, I'm losing my mind. It's just so cool. I can't wait to just like have people see my character and it just be like glowing awesomeness, and they're just like, oh man, this guy's pro. I can't mess with this guy. Like, look at how awesome his village rule is. Yeah. But like I said, I've been playing this game for about 4 years. It took me about 3 years before I kind of decided, I wanted to be a little bit more than what I was doing, because this game is mainly about farming. You just kind of like you go into these dungeons, you collect armor, and you kind of just like watch your characters grow. You kind of start out at the start fighting slimes, and then you work your way up to like fighting these big monsters, giants, dragons, like undead monsters. And um like I wasn't I had gotten to a point where I wasn't as satisfied as I was, just like kind of like pushing auto on the game and watching it just kind of like play for itself. And that it kind of got boring for a little bit, and I found myself kind of coming out of it, not wanting to play the game, as like hardcore as I was in the beginning, But with the with the recent introduction of PvP that hold on, I'm gonna fix my attack order here. With the recent introduction of this PvP thing that they call RTA, I really started kind of getting into it, even though, how can I say this? This game it has a little bit of a pay to win aspect to it, so you can definitely put money into this game and I'll get that, even though it's kind of bad. I don't care. um, there's a bit of a pay to win aspect in the game, and you can, as you can see here, you can put money and get like special runes and stuff like that. And I wasn't really about that. I kind of started out like being all about the monsters, like Pokemon basically, like I gotta collect them all kind of thing. Like I have this one already, I need to get this one, get them to level 40. That was what I was obsessed with. Just collecting all the monsters. And unfortunately, monsters in really good armor, are pretty hard to come by. And after playing for about 2 years, I kind of realized that, like I was kind of stuck. And I, this is the RT that I'm talking about, the PvP session. I started wanting to compete in this, and that's where I started like kind of putting some money into it because when I saw the wings for the first time, that's what got me motivated into playing. Like pushing my rank so that I could attain that rank, so that I could finally purchase. Let me get to it right here. Purchase these wings, the gladiator ambition. I saw this and I was just like, I want that. I want this on all my characters, as at least as many characters as I can. That was my first goal in the game, was to get to this, because it just meant something to me. Like it was a status. Like there, you needed to kind of like not only accumulate the coins to purchase it, so you had to win like multiple matches and stuff, but you also had to have a gold star rank, which is Conqueror 1. I believe that's what it's called. Anyways, I'm currently Conqueror 2. I haven't been playing as much as I really kind of wanted to. Um, you know, Work and social life and stuff like that has kind of like prevented me from reaching the next level that I'm kind of like hoping that I can get to, because it's another one of those little milestones, I'd say, um, for attaining. Let me show you. Like this is the next goal that I have set for myself personally, and so this is what got me into the PvP thing. I saw this wings, and that's what I wanted, and now it's like an upgrade to those wings. You have the lightning now, and you're like even more badass. And that requires me to have a red star, so that's two more ranks. And like I said, with the pay to win aspect in this game, you have people that are potentially a little bit richer than you, so you can't really like face off against like the most powerful visas in the world, and you just get smashed because they pretty much, as me and the boys would call the nuts. Like it's just you can't really like compare to some of the stuff that you can pay for, you know. But it's still kind of fun. I actually kind of surprise myself sometimes when I play these higher ranked people and I beat them, and it's really cool to kind of like you know go at it with your favorite characters. You get to like see the work that you put into it like pay off, and that's like one of the best things that's like kept me coming back to this game. Is just like competing against people that I'm sure have been working just as hard as I have for many years, and it's really cool like to beat them, or to have them beat you, because sometimes you just get uh RNG'd, like uh that's a random number generator. There's so many different things that can happen in the game that just like changes, like it decides whether you're going to win or lose. Like in this game, it's very important to like take the first turn, and you know when you're facing people that are relatively around the same level as you kind of just run into situations where that guy might have had something that you didn't, or you got the first pick, or you just like got lucky, because in this game there's a lot of there's a specific armor that they call violent runes, right? And it gives you like an additional turn, and this is a turn-based game, so being able to kind of like have a 22% chance to proc an additional turn right after taking a turn, it's crazy what can happen. Like you're playing and you feel like you're behind, but then boom, you get two turns, and you essentially turn the tide. And these set of armors are just like the most sought after, at least in the PvP format, as like the best armor that you can kind of get a hold of. Being able to take two turns in a row, you just kind of like you can come back from a losing situation, because it's very much like chess. Like you position yourself, one player takes a move, the next player takes another one. But with Summoner's War, the difference is that when you add violent runes into it, can you imagine like in chess being able to take two turns? Like you move your pawn twice and you're just like so much further ahead. And it can be frustrating sometimes, like when you're seemingly winning and beating the opponent, and they take three or four turns in a row, and they turn the tide, and you're just like, oh. um, it's fun and frustrating, because it goes both ways. Like sometimes you're in the can and there's nothing you can do, and then RNGesus like just smiles on you, and it changes everything. um, let's see if I could show you like a game where that's like a really good example of like what can happen. Um, I remember playing this guy who was a whole rank higher than me, and in this game he beat me, and I'll show you right now. Like I don't care about showing people if I lose, because I don't win all the time. I'm not super pro or anything, but so this is kind of like how the RTA matches kind of begins. First person picks their monster, and they kind of go through picking it. Um, you know, in this situation, I was kind of like worried because some of these monsters I wasn't like scared about, but when given the chance to go first, you're able to just capitalize on like just killing my monster, instantly. You're so far behind when something like that happens. And I was a little discouraged. You get kind of discouraged when you get rocked pretty hard. But I'm playing this out. I'm still kind of hoping, but I don't get any of the kills here, and I'm feeling a little like I'm pretty sure he got it, but let's play it out a little bit. And go for a super smash, and that's one of those additional turns that I was talking about right there. Um, just oh man, sometimes it's so great. I was able to get an extra hit in there, which is cool. And another turn, and it almost feels like I'm about to make a comeback here. And then he stuns me, and I feel like that's kind of set in the deal. His two monsters against mine with like the HP that I had, it was pretty clear that he was going to be winning, so I gave it to him this round. And then I was randomly put up against him again, which is again super frustrating. When you play against a player who just beats you, who's higher ranked than you, and then you get put up against him again in the game's like, yeah, you're gonna lose again, but uh, let me show you what actually happened. And like I said, this game it's not just like you don't always have a clear winner. So it kind of starts off with like us choosing the same monsters almost, with me picking my Bellatrol and my Bastet, but I take one of his monsters that he used last time, and this is where the game kind of like changes. I don't think he was like expecting me to have chosen the monster that I chose. So he was kind of like essentially without his key monster here. So in this situation, I was able to set up before him, and look, I'm just like taking care of everything. And he just gives up. Just being able to take that first turn was just like so essential. Me being able to take his I don't know how to say his name. It's but we'll call him the yellow chicken for now. But me being able to take his monster and buff up before he was able to do anything, and kill one of his monsters, one of his key monsters that was going to give him some buffs here. Just kind of, I'm sure, was frustrating to kind of see. But that's just something I love about the game. You never really know what you're going to be up against. You kind of essentially have to be prepared for everything, and sometimes like your everything isn't good enough, and you just kind of have to like hope and pray that your monsters and the time and stuff that you put into it are better than your opponents. And I've definitely faced some of the like the top players in the world, which I definitely didn't hold any candles to. They definitely wrecked my face, but it it was it was great playing them. I got a chance to play against Llama, who's I think he's number 5 right now in the world. I'm not sure in our server or not. Let's take a look. Info. So Salam is actually number 4. I was able to play against the number 4 player in the world not too long ago. I do follow some of these guys on YouTube, so they're inspirations for me, to just like keep playing, take a look at like some of their armor, how they play, the way they think, and I just try to like, you know, do the same thing. Like I just kind of think, what would YDCB do in this situation? What would Sean do? And at the same time, I have to kind of think like I don't have everything that's like available to everybody. You accumulate monsters through daily quests and getting rare scrolls, but a lot of like the super rare monsters come from really hard to obtain scrolls. Like I I maybe get like one light or dark scroll every month, and there are players out there that have some of these like really rare monsters that just do like absurd things. Like, I don't even know what this monster does. I've never even seen somebody play with it, but it's very kind of like Yu-Gi-Oh, like there's only four blue eyes white dragons in the world, and I'm sure there's some people that are the only people in the world that have, this monster or that monster, and it's it's almost like, you kind of have to like adapt because you've never played this monster. You're kind of going into it blind, like this monster for example, Chroma, her special ability like allows her to not be able to like receive any harmful effects, which is like essentially the one way that you can kill monsters in this game is like, stunning them or lowering their defense. And this monster, you can't do that to her. You just have to like hope that the other team doesn't have something that's going to sustain her, with like heals or shields. Yeah. um, it's just it's crazy like some of the things that you can earn in this game with with a little bit of luck on your side, unfortunately, I haven't been too lucky on the light and the dark side, of obtaining monsters, but I'm not completely, um, in the dark with like some of the Nat 5s, the rarer monsters in this game. I was actually able to get pretty lucky. I've hit a couple of milestones. I've gotten back-to-back Nat 5s, which is the highest rank monster that you can get from just like summoning from the scrolls. Um, I've definitely gotten duplicates, which is not something you want to see in the game. Like having two Eladrils isn't something that's like super desired. uh, and one of the things that I've kind of like have had happen to me is I've gotten three Poseidons. And it's pretty hard, because it's pretty hard to kind of like deal with, because you play this game for so long and you're just like you're always hoping for that lightning, for a Nat 5 or something like that, and you get the freaking same one, like what am I supposed to do with this? Like um I'm sure there's players out there that are just like, oh yeah, you can build like two monsters, like for here, for example, I have two Chasuns, but Nat fives are a lot more rare, like they just have such more unique abilities than the lower rank monsters, and they're very highly sought after. Um, and as you know appreciative as I am, for even receiving an F5, because the rates are so low. This even being Poseidon even being my first Nat 5 that I got, and it took me about 8 months before I hit my first Nat 5, and like some people will tell you that that's a normal thing, like it takes a long time to accumulate those matches because they're so low chance. But then, you know on the flip side, there are level 5 accounts that have like two or three Nat 5s. I'm not saying that they went to the shop and they bought more scrolls than anybody else, but I kind of always say that they did, but I don't know, maybe they got lucky, maybe they did get lucky, and you have to give some people the benefit of the doubt, and other people, for sure that they spent a little bit more money than you did on the game, and that's okay, like. We all have things that we love to do, love to spend money on, and this is one of those things that you know that I love to do and love to spend my time on, and it it has been the thing that has kind of kept me going for the past 4 years, because I've dealt with a lot of things in my life with a pituitary gland tumor, and just life in general. And sometimes you get to a point in your life and you're just like, you don't feel like you're progressing, or you don't feel like you're where you're at in life or where you want to be in life, is what I meant to say. And it's always great to be able to kind of like go back and look at the things that you've accomplished, and it's not always kind of easy to do that in reality. There's not like all these armors laid across your room that's like kind of showing, okay, so you have spent this amount of money looking for this specific rune. This monster's really rare. The aura that you have around it, it's it's just kind of like a testament, to the things that you've accomplished, and you can see it. It's there. The the ranking system, and like I said, being able to like play other people, replay the 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 games that you've played, and learn from it. And as like somebody that grew up loving playing Yu-Gi-Oh and Magic the Gathering, this game really just resonates with me because it's always there showing you like how far you've come. This is your past record. This is the best you've ever done. And you look at these stats and you're just like, I want to be better. I want to do better. This is how good I am. This is how good I was last year. This is how good I am currently. And you just want to like slowly push and push and push and push and push forward, forward, forward. Like inch by inch is what I always kind of say. And that's what's kept me going. Um, and that's gonna do it for the video today. Like I said, I just wanted to kind of do like a first time video, a showcase of what I have to kind of come in the future, and I very much appreciate you guys for coming by and joining me. And, thanks. All right, I'll talk to you guys later.